Boom. Welcome back to The Quest, everybody. I'm your host, as always, Andy Kaysen, also known as AC these days. And I've got a special guest in the house with us tonight, ZiggyNO Sports Card Daily. We're going to be talking about all the 40, 50 plus football card sets that have been released since the beginning of the 2020 season and all the new sets being released this year still for the 2020 season. And we're going to be talking about the draft. We're going to be talking about a bunch of stuff, football card, sports hobby related. So without further ado, let's dig in.
Awesome,
Ziggy,
man.
what's good, man?
I'm so excited to be here. So first of all, I want to thank you. And just so everybody knows, I'm doing this from my home on my hotspot. I've had some internet problems. So hopefully everybody can hear me and everything goes well. If I crash or anything, it is not Andy's internet. It is my internet.
Let's just make that clear, everybody. All right. Now, if we had Dustin, the personal finance dad, on here, it'd be a different story.
Exactly. I know he might be watching, and I don't want him to start blaming the wrong person for the internet failure. But I'm super excited to talk about this because it's funny. I've been following your channel, and I think a lot of people think of right now as kind of the off season for football. But to me, I think this is one of the most exciting seasons. You have some great product releases, and we have the draft coming up. And not only that, the free agency. So much is going on that if you are a sports card collector, the decisions you make today, I think, are a bigger impact on where you are next year. Right? It's not the decisions you make in October, November. You should be making those now on which players you're going after, which are your rookies you're going after, what cards you're grading now. So I'm really excited about tonight and talking about football. And let me also quickly make a disclaimer. If you watch my channel, I've been pretty brutal on Panini. I'm not a fan of Panini. For this evening, we're going to talk all Panini products, and that's simply because we don't have a choice. Okay, Panini's the monopoly. So I'm not going to mention Panini in any negative light. I'm just going to talk about the facts and what I love and don't love about certain products and stuff. So I do want to just put that disclaimer out.
No, that's a good disclaimer. Did you see I just posted a video, what's today, Thursday, so that was Tuesday. I ripped a mega box that Keno Moss sent me, one of our kick-ass subscribers, and it had printing errors, it had creased corners.
Yep, I did see that. In fact, the thing is, back in the day, you could send that link of your video to customer support at Panini and say, hey, man, I opened a box on my channel and this is what we got. And they would send you something in return. You should try that. I don't know if they'll do it now. To me, they ignore me. But my point is that was one of the reasons that breaks became popular was you would open these very valuable boxes. And if you had that video evidence of what was in or not in the product, the manufacturers would often honor it, right? I did that, in fact, with Panini. I remember back in 2017, my son and I got the first off the line Prism football boxes, and you had the bronze refractors, and we opened one box that had no refractors in it. We had the video. We sent the link to the guy at customer support, and he sent us in the mail replacements. It was awesome. So you should look into that.
Yeah, I heard that if you send Panini the card that's damaged or has the printing error or whatnot with an open pack from that box, is that what you're saying to them in the mail, that they'll send you a new pack or just reprint that card specifically for you and send it back?
Well, I'll be clear. They don't reprint it, right? So they have so many in their collection that they could replace it with or give you some equivalent card. Right. So, for example, I don't remember what it was. We didn't get a bronze refractor. The replacement card was not a star. It was some, regular player. But we got it. And at the time, it was about the fairness. And my son wanted to get the card. And it was cool. I mean, they honored it. And yeah, each Panini has different rules for. Sometimes they want the UPC code. Sometimes they want the package. But you should definitely look into that. But that being said, I will say I think the first, big release really to talk about, and that I would mention is, I believe it's Select is coming out next, right? Is that, if I'm looking
Select? Yeah. So I'm gonna throw up my screen here. I've got Cardboard Connection and I've got Beckett pulled up here, Ziggy. Real quick before I do that, let me shout out some of these kick-ass dudes. JJ Bama was first. I think he showed up on Lombardi time to get that one. You got Raven Invest, you got Sean in the house. Mike Ham, Fishing and Sports. He says it's brutal. He said, I was texting with him earlier, and he's really good about finding retail here in Tampa. He has no football out right now. He said Optic's pretty much done. Contenders done. The next thing is Select in the next couple weeks.
Which is going to be hot. because this is, I believe, the
No.
first retail select ever.
Yeah,
right?
I'm gonna pull up the design. I like the design too. I think it's gonna be super fire.
And then
I'm
the
with you.
question is, is the checklist out? Like, I think there'll be silvers in there, but is there, retail color? Will there be any retail number? But it's going to be a very popular product. The hobby will be very popular. I think there's a first off the line as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Let's check it. Let's check it out. Shout out to Sean Lane. Jason's under the scope. Sorry to hear that about your experience with Panini. We're all struggling with the same beast.
Yeah,
because they make the best products. I mean, let's face it, right? They've got the exclusive contract with the NFL that I think it goes through what 2022, and
I think it's 2024. But the thing is, I don't see that changing either, right? They're not going to. They'll have an option always to renew or negotiate first, and unless somebody gets aggressive with it, I don't see that changing. But yeah, it does look like Select's going to have a first off the line product, which will be interesting to see that drop, right? So check your Panini app. It says the release day is the 9th. That probably means first off the lines will drop next week. And then you've got a hybrid box, it looks like. And then I don't see the retail on Cardboard Connection, but I have heard, like I said, retail's coming out. You've got some information there as well.
Yeah, March 31st. Hobby boxes, first off the line. I got to click on this. I want to see how much a hobby box costs on eBay. Probably 1,000 plus. Oh,
I'm curious. I haven't even looked yet. What is
there
it?
You go. Well, for $1,225. Well, that's actually an auction. These are auctions. So for $1,500 and $10 shipping, there you go. It's yours.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to pass on that. So I'll say for me in this product, if I'm going after this, right, and I'll be honest, I'm not going to be going after it very aggressively. I would be going after the retail side, trying to get retail, and I would be selective about going into breaks. The expensive teams are going to be, really expensive, the quarterback teams, but
Chargers,
there are
Bengals, Eagles, Miami,
factors and stuff. But I think that's what I think is nice. I think the nice thing is the retail market will actually provide, I think, more quantity. Will obviously provide more quantity, so it might actually keep the prices of some of these singles down. I will say I pulled up some data. I don't think I could share this with you, or I don't know if I can share my screen, but just looking at some of the past values, right, of some of these players, like a Baker Mayfield premier level silver is a PSA 10's a $350 card right now, right?
Okay, yeah, it's 2018 Premier.
Daniel Jones, 2019 field level silver, PSA 10, $450. I'm just giving you a feel
of. I'm fired up about Daniel Jones. Sorry, Ziggy.
No. My point is, though, if you're chasing quarterbacks, right, you're looking at some of these cards. If you get a PSA 10, about maybe a $400 or $500 value, I guess is proposed. Will any of these be higher? I think in the beginning they'll probably be even higher than that, right? Because there'll be less PSA 10s. In the beginning, they'll only be the ones that get express graded, so those will probably pop even higher. But if you look a year down, just keep that in mind too. If you're chasing these cards, I would say wait a few weeks, months, maybe, right? Because when these products come out first, they're going to be really expensive.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you absolutely, because it's a supply and demand rule. When it first releases, the supply is so low, it's so limited, and demand is through the roof because everybody's talking about it, right? I mean, you look at the design. I mean, I think let's look at the set details, but I've seen some of the designs, and I'm like, okay, it's right on par. I can picture it with the shiny. There's my guy right there.
These are beautiful cards. And honestly, I think they're a more attractive card than Prism. And most people do. That's why they get so much, love in the hobby for the collector side. I believe these are also going to be on-card autos.
Ooh.
Right? Which is even nicer, right? I mean, you're right. That's a gorgeous Brady card right there. It's better than the Prism card is, better than the Donruss card. And if that's a silver, you grade that, that's a pretty looking card.
I think this is a concourse. I think this is it just says concourse, the most common.
Yeah.
But they've added another tier this year. I noticed that. See,
Yeah.
they've got a club level now between the premier and the field level, which is gonna, obviously is another tier, so they can print more cards, and that's
Yeah.
kind of their way of doing that. That's what my opinion.
Is it what is the box breakdown? Is it 2 autos per box, or auto and 2 relics or something like that? I forget. And in basketball, I think it's 3 hits, and you normally get 1 or 2 autos and 1 relic. I don't recall what the breakdown was on this, but that's another thing I like. There are some good, some decent relics in this, some good patches. I think there might even be an RPA in here and select.
Let's check it out. Let's see what Cardboard Connection. Now, I
And
like
then,
Cardboard Connection, but it's a very busy website. There's a lot going on. It can be a little bit
I
more
agree.
difficult to find the information
They've
you're
got,
looking for.
they've got a beautiful NFL, jumbo patch rookie swatch of in the Cardboard Connection page. They got a beautiful Burrow RPA. Yeah. There's some pretty cards in here. Also, the first of the line boxes are going to be pretty. I will say again, they've kind of diluted this. This bothered me about Panini. There are, it looks like, at least 5 1-of-1s that I'm seeing just in the rookie jumbo rookie signature swatches. There's a black 1-of-1, a laundry Nike 1-of-1, a brand logo 1-of-1, a Nike an NFL Shield 1-of-1. So you've got several 1-of-1s, but some nice, just a great card. I don't know, pretty card. They also have these zebras. A lot of short prints in this as well.
Yeah, that zebra. I think that zebra is a cool card, man. I like the zebra.
It is. And one of my other favorite things I love about these cards is that you can buy and sell these on Star Stock, where you can't do that with all cards, right? So I think that's that way. If I have some of these, if I got in a break and I got a bunch of rookies, I can send them to Star Stock and maybe wait until next season or whatever and sell them there, or could even grade it through there too.
I like that phenomenon too. The way it's almost like a Celtic kind of symbol in the
Yeah.
background. That's cool. That's slick.
That's what
It makes the player really pop,
What's interesting is they're releasing here. So the other product that we'll talk about a little bit is Panini Contenders Optic Football is on the same day. It's on the 9th as well.
Contenders Optic. That's right.
Yeah. Right. So again, if you think of football, traditionally the Contenders paper autograph was like the autograph card in the hobby, right? Because typically an on-card auto, and this really goes back to Brady. I think it was Playbook then. Playbook had the Playbook Contenders, and the Brady Contenders is the auto in the hobby. And then a few years ago, I think it was actually in Watson's year, they came out with this Contenders Optic. So you've got the thicker stock, beautiful card, on-card auto. These boxes are typically a lot harder to hit because I think there's only a few cards per box. And these are right now looking like they're gonna be $500 a box. I'm on Cardboard Connection right now.
And just for the record, everybody, Kino Moss here did wrap that Contenders box he sent me in like 7 layers of bubble wrap. He said he wrapped it like it was his firstborn child. So for the record, I didn't show the full unboxing because I wanted to, make sure that it got here safely whenever he sent it. So I took it out, then ripped it a week or 2 later. But he did wrap that very well. That's totally on Panini. What's up, Samuel's Views? What is going on? Sports Card 716. Shout out to him. He got this green shirt, this green Quest shirt, and from my store on TeePublic, and I really liked it, and I'm really digging this green shirt, by the way.
Very nice, very nice.
Blaine York in the house, new collector. What is going on, guys? Costa Rica card collector Thomas in the house.
Yeah, I agree with Thomas. Hold on, I gotta decline that. I had a call coming in. Our stock has definitely gotten slow in processing, and I know. So I will say I reached out to them and I got a nice response from them. There's a couple of reasons. Number one, they've gotten a lot stricter on the way they're processing and screening cards. Right. I think they definitely were looser in the beginning, and now they're a lot stricter on how they star stock A, B, and C cards. And they also just gotten overwhelmed, man. They've gotten pummeled. They really have. They were at least responsive to me. I thought that was great. I do encourage people, to reach out to them. They'll at least get back to you and give you a time frame. I know people who've also bought cards from them who are waiting to get them shipped, and the shipping on that's taking a long time as well. So it's frustrating. I feel you. But I will say, I think that's across the board right now. I think even like Comp C's having issues with their shipping. Yeah, these are some cool cards. These select, aren't they? That's a nice card.
Yeah. Shout out to Global Sports Card Investor. Check out that CD Lamb rookie patch auto. Man, I just something like that 2018 phenomenon, select phenomenon, Baker Mayfield. So sick. I love how they do the swirls. And that's part of the reason why I love the field level. It's got the swirls on the bottom and the top. I just think that makes the player pop so much. It's not, it's a lot more artistic and like free flowing versus very geometrical, like the prism.
Well,
I like it, but
this reminds me, and it's hard to say this now because prices are crazy, but this reminds me of a poor man's immaculate. Back in the day, the iMac was this, acetate, thick, beautiful RPA card, and the select was like it's poor man's equivalent. You're like, hey, I'll get a select because I can't afford an iMac, right? But now I think they're all ridiculously priced, so I don't know which one's crazier. But that is a beautiful card. Just what's also fun is just on release day on April 9th, watching breaks. I'm a big fan of watching Mojo breaks, Leighton, and those guys just for cards. I don't even have to be in the breaks. Just watching the breaks and watching the big hits is always awesome thing, man.
So it's a perfect parlay into this question here from Kino. What makes a break worth it for you, Ziggy?
Yeah, for me, I mean, I will say prices have gotten really crazy. I don't break as much as I used to. I mean, I used to do a lot of breaking. Recently, when I've been doing breaks, it's been more in smaller targeted breaks, PYTs, and it's been basketball. I did do some football breaks. I did some retail, like I did the Dolphins in a few breaks. I chased Burrow in a few breaks, so I'll go after the quarterbacks. But those were either one box of hobby or retail, so it wasn't me spending hundreds of dollars. It was a smaller risk. And right now, for example, one thing that's coming up that I love National Treasures. Okay, and that's going to be just sick. In the past years, I've always been able to get a box of first off the line. I don't think that's going to be possible this year. And I'll just say years ago. In fact, I'll show you. I have here's one of the first off the line. These are the Stars and Stripes, and that is your boy Kaiser. Look at this. I mean, this isn't an ugly holder, but it's just a beautiful card, right?
Beautiful card, yeah.
That box was $500 or $750 on Panini's website, and it was just first come first serve, and it was awesome. We got that. Now I think they're starting at like $4,000 or $5,000, in the Dutch auction. So that is a product, though. My point is going back to NT that I will look and maybe try to get into a break or two. It's such a hard one to go because you're normally that's straight up gambling, but it's a beautiful product. A patch card, the autographs. There's some beautiful stuff in NT, some great vet stuff in NT. In fact, if you can do an NT, I like to like a draft pick where you at least get something in the break versus potentially skunking. But you can see these cards. These cards are gorgeous, and like I said, it's gonna be really interesting this year to see how they do. Next year is gonna be even crazier with the rookie class we have coming out. But look at these
the
cards.
Quarterback class this year is.
Now, these used to also be, I'll just say this, a little history lesson. Back in the day, Panini came into the market with National Treasures, okay? Because when Panini came in, it was dominated by Topps. Topps had a lot of licensing. They were the U.S. brand. Panini's this overseas company who came in. They bought Donruss and some players. And then when they came out with National Treasures, it was their product. And the big push they had was it was normally, I believe, all game-worn and on-card autos. So this was real cool relics, right? Where we are today is not the same. So this is still, to me, one of the best products in the hobby. Also, NT boxes, they can't make a lot of this print run. I'm sure the print run has grown over the years, but it is limited in the number. I think every card's numbered, and there are certain requirements on how much manufactured material they put into it. So it's a beautiful product, man.
So if there were two auctions, let's say you had a Jalen Hurts that was a prism, let's say it was a prism, silver prism auto for $300 versus a Jalen Hurts National Treasures auto for $500. Would you spend up the $200 to get the National Treasures?
Yes.
There you go, guys.
Yes. I will tell you one of my favorite stories many, many years ago, 2017. My sons and I were in a break of the Chiefs, and we did hit the RPA Mahomes. We owned one of those at one point to 99, big red patch, beautiful RPA. And we quick sold that. I think at the time, this is 2017, he wasn't even playing for $1,100. And we're very happy about it. Now that card's what? A college tuition, maybe?
Oh yeah, man. That's a lotto ticket. That's like that's like a
So I mean, that's the thing. I've also hit we hit a Trubisky NT RPA years ago and sold that off. Right. So I just love NT. I mean,
that was a good idea.
We've had some good hits. We've also had some Kaisers, right, man? I mean, I got him still right here. So it's just I don't know. I love that product. Like I just say two products that I really like are Prism and NT. Those are my two products. If I only were able to buy that the rest of my life, I think, and even I feel like that's really all I can buy. I think right now, if I could buy anything, that's all I could do. I mean, NT2 is another product where I'd even love to hold one of these boxes for a few years. You could sell it. They're just great. I don't know. They're amazing.
It's incredible how much I see all the I want to get in on some National Treasure stuff. And there's a player from the 2014 year that has some National Treasure stuff that I can afford. But I mean, you look at this, like this isn't even the dude's rookie card, but it's a 101. You look at the autograph, it's crazy.
New collector just made a comment. So yes, back in 2017, I was actually chasing Hunt. That's a good point. It's a good. So it's funny. I would buy into breaks, and I was chasing Hunt because my sons, we were PCing Hunt. We had his jersey. We liked Hunt, and we'd sell off all the Mahomes. So we sold Mahomes all year long as we got him. Going, who cares? He's another quarterback, which is a great lesson to learn. But
well, I think Hunt and Nick Chubb both right now are underpriced, and I could definitely see Hunt, going somewhere just because the Browns, I think, could get a premium for him.
Yeah, but I think Hunt. I think I would rather own Chubb than Hunt. I won't lie to you. I mean, I think Hunt will always have the scarring of his reputation. That will always haunt him. And I mean, I have a bunch of his cards. I have a bunch of them on Star Stock. If you want, make me an offer. I'll accept almost anything. Trust me. It's just and again, I learned so much from that. It wasn't just that the running back over quarterback, also just how your reputation can be destroyed. Like in football, look at Watson right now.
Oh, I know. I've been telling everybody sell.
I don't see, and I'll tell you, I've sold most of his cards off over the year just because I've needed to. But I'm shocked how much his card has dropped. I mean, he was like $1,500. I think it's like $800 right now. He's a Prism Silver.
They're just dropping. I mean, because it's like how many? There's more and more women that keep coming forward. And I know they all have the same lawyer, and it's in Houston. It's all just super shady.
And what happens? Like best case is the charges. He doesn't do any time. Charges go away. He settles out of court. Right? There'll be some settlement out of court, which will be sealed, so you'll never know what really. My point is, there's never going to be some vindication of some answer of this is all bullshit and it was a lie. You're always going to have something in your mind, and even if he wins 3, Super Bowls, which I don't think he's going to have a path to Super Bowls right now. Yeah, I feel for him. So those football players, man, if they do something wrong, they can kill your card value, right? I mean.
Well, yeah, because if the allegations are true, I mean, nobody wants to own his card.
Yeah. Again, even if they're not, I don't know, even if they're not, there's no way the people are going to come out and say, no, we made this up. We were just, we were pulling your leg. There'll always be a doubt in people's mind because of that now. So he's in a tough spot. Anyway, so I will say, just looking at the release calendar too, in April, we're going to have some of the new products coming out with the new rookie season, right? The 2021 overlaps. Are you ready for that?
I was taking a look at the first time I've taken a look at that was just here earlier, and I was like, wait a minute, this says 2021
because it's Leaf and it's not Panini, and so Leaf is not licensed, but they do some draft products, and they do some on-card autos. And I'll say, listen to Brian Gray. I think Brian Gray, right? He's very active in the community. And Leaf's done a lot really to increase the value, I think, of their product. So I'm not saying, first of all, I'm not a big fan of getting in the football cards early until some of the better products come out. But I am going to be interested. I will be watching that Leaf product and seeing how it does. Because, and here's another thing to keep an eye. I forgot to mention. Topps is dropping a Trevor Lawrence set.
Yeah, I saw that.
Say this again. Topps is dropping a Trevor Lawrence set. They don't have the license for the football at all. They don't have license for college, and they're doing some end around where they're doing under some artistic license with Trevor's, I believe, his sister, where she's making these artistic cards of Trevor, and that's going to. So my point is, 2021, I think, is going to be like Zion's year in football. Okay, so if you followed Zion in basketball, this year is going to be crazy just because of Trevor. And then you've got, again, 4 other quarterbacks expected to be drafted in the first round. That makes for one of the craziest football seasons ever, which is why, so when everybody else is watching the draft, I'll be sitting there thinking about how much the teams are going to cost in PYT based on who gets who, right? So the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to be like a $2,000 team in PYT next year, which is terrible because you don't have a good vet either, right? It's not like you can pull a Peyton Manning or somebody else good just in case you miss. You're pretty stuck with a Brunell as your best case, maybe a Fred, what's his name? Fred Thomas, right? For a vet auto. And then see what the Jets do, right? Will the Jets take number 2 or they trade that spot, right? So anyway, it's just going to be exciting. Is this the Topps card?
Yeah, these are the Topps cards that.
This is cool, man. I haven't seen this.
Yeah.
Where are you pulling this up from?
Beckett. /news/2021 Topps X Trevor Lawrence. I forget who I was talking to about it. Their only concern is like, look, this is Topps. Like, there's no telling. I think it was Brad Nolan. Shout out to Brad. He's like, there's no telling if Topps is just going to print on demand or if they're going to have a print run that they stick to.
Well, so that's the thing. I give Topps a lot more credit, man, than Panini. Okay, Topps does do print runs, right? They normally do print on demand. And they also do pack odds. Topps, again, they're not innocent, but they are a much better run company than Panini. They also do drops at suggested retail prices. So they often sell fast, but when they drop their prices in their boxes, you'll see they're selling at like $250 a box. They're not Dutch auctioning stuff like Panini. So anyway, I haven't read this, but does it say on here, is this a print on demand? Will there be short prints in it? Are there autographs? This is going to be very popular in my opinion.
Yeah, well, especially this. I mean, this is the 86 Topps. This is the Jerry Rice, Steve Young.
That's a very cool looking card.
Yeah,
exactly.
So according to Topps,
look at this. There's no football in his hand in the picture at all, right? There's no sport at all.
It's way up there.
And I mentioned this too. So another thing, just to quickly mention, Topps they're doing the Mickey Mantle cards in the artistic set, the Project 70. That's another one that. Again, my understanding was Panini had the lock license on Mantle. So Topps has definitely taken some shots across the bow here on Panini, which I absolutely applaud. I love this, right? So support the Trevor Lawrence product. Look at that. That card looks cool. That's a Topps card? No way.
Yeah, man. That's the 89 Pro Set.
Okay, because Pro Set was just bought by Leaf. Leaf just bought Pro Set.
I noticed that, and I saw that Pro Set is coming back this year as well. And I'm looking, okay, so this is, they're segueing from the top. So with Panini holding the NFL and Clemson exclusives, collectors won't find Lawrence in official uniforms. Rather, it'll be a mix of casual portraits and shots that don't have logos. The first Trevor Lawrence cards date back to 2018 with a couple U.S. Army All-American Bowl releases from Leaf. These include autographs. Recently, Leaf also kicked off the return of Pro Set with a print-on-demand card of the quarterback that sold over 57,000 copies.
I heard about this. And this is really cool, guys. Again, I applaud this. Print on demand, in my opinion, is the way to go. Hashtag F Panini, because they don't do any print on demand. They do print as much as they demand. And they blind you about stuff. They're all these tricky refractors. Again, this is awesome. 57,000 is a lot. They think that's the record. I think Topps broke that record with one of the soccer cards. I think the soccer card did over 59,000, but I could be wrong. But again, that's cool. So these Trevor Lawrence cards are going to be interesting. Trevor Lawrence is just going to be Trevor Lawrence mania. So the Leaf set will be interesting. Autographs will be interesting. And again, this is a kid who's going to probably play for the next 10 to 15 years.
Yeah.
Unlike, what's also cool too is that Jacksonville can suck. but he's probably not going to be stuck there. And I'll even say this: remember, Jacksonville's got what's his name, Urban Meyer, coaching this year. It's going to be pretty cool to watch.
That's where the connection's at, man.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be. So I am super excited for 2021 football, and I'm going to be very excited to spend some money outside of Panini when I can. So I will be looking at that top set. I'll look at the Leaf set. I know they're going to do a draft Prism set. I probably will stay away from that. Looking at the list here, and I can't wait for Prism in the fall. But just so much going on.
Which one do you target? The Leaf Metal or the Leaf Draft?
Okay, so I like the Leaf Metal. I'm not a fan of the draft, but I honestly haven't seen it recently. The Prism draft I don't like. No, I don't like that. I would go with Leaf Metal. And just because I'd rather spend my money there on Leaf over Panini in that one. I know the college unis. I will say there's Chronicles that's in there too, just as a release. That's on the 28th. And Chronicles, by the way, is the last 2020 football drop. So your last chance to get rookies from last year, right? Tua, Burrow, Herbert. And that should be a fun release. Chronicles will be fun. Chronicles will be retail as well, so there'll be a big push to get some retail Chronicles. And they're putting in a Prism insert. I think the Prism insert is only in the hobby boxes, but look for that. There'll be Prism cards in this Chronicles release. So I will say, if you do chase retail, man, it seems like there's a new release every week coming out between basketball, football, and baseball right now. Yeah. I like these metal cards. I guess those look like they're stickers. I can't tell, but.
Yeah, they kind of do. Yeah, I mean they're in like a little rectangle box.
I would be specific, guys. I'm not going to be going after wide receivers and running backs in this. I would be going after the quarterbacks. But like I know some Mahomes metal stuff is pretty valuable if you look back at some of the non-licensed Mahomes products.
I imagine, especially if it's autographed, right?
I'm not saying Lawrence is Mahomes, but man, Lawrence is generational.
We shall see. I mean, that's the word on the street. But I'm actually really excited to see what Mac Jones brings to the NFL. To be honest with you, because I mean, just look at the track record for 1.1 draft picks. They tend to struggle. I mean,
yeah, but not like this kid's like luck, in my opinion. Lawrence is like luck. He's groomed for this, And then when I think of Mac Jones, my big concern there is I haven't seen a good Alabama quarterback.
Well, I think one of the big winners from the first week of free agency was Tua in Miami. I think this is the year for Tua. I think we're going to see.
I hope so.
A big time improvement down there in Miami. I mean, this is going to be his legitimate chance. They traded Ryan Fitzpatrick to the Washington football team. That's a big improvement for all the skill weapons on Washington. What's going on with my camera? Is my camera?
Yeah, I don't see you on camera right now, but did you hit your stop cam button?
Start cam?
There you are.
Oh, strange. Hey, check out this beer that I'm about to crack open.
Oh, peanut butter. That looks damn good.
The best of both worlds right here. I found this just the other night. I'm like, I have to get it.
And it's good,
right?
I see, right?
Well, it is good. It is good. I had one last night, and I'm about to have another one. It smells very. When you smell it in the can, it smells like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Very cool. Okay.
But then when you pour it into a glass and you actually take a big gulp, it's got very good chocolate notes and very peanut buttery. It's good, guys. You should try it out.
Man, you're making me thirsty now. I might need a beer.
What you got over there, Ziggy? I see you got the Christmas lights up. That's a festive mood.
I did Coke earlier. I have lights up in the. I'm in my kitchen area. I'm at my cabin. Like I said, this is my first live from the cabin. This has never happened before, and I'm still amazed. This is going through my cell phone hotspot. So
I hope you have an unlimited data plan.
We'll worry about that later.
There you go. All right. Beer has been poured. See, it gives you a nice little, like 1 inch of head there, And
cheers.
Very peanut buttery. Cheers, guys.
So I was going to ask you, have you been, I think we talked about this before the show started. Have you been using Star Stock and buying?
I have been using Star Stock. I've actually got it pulled up because, I mean, been selling a lot of cards. Really is really what I've been doing. I haven't submitted any cards to Star Stock in a while now.
Now, the ones you're selling, are these ones you bought prior and you're just now selling on the platform?
Oh, so yeah, the Kyler PSA 9 I bought on the platform. The Daniel Jones both bought on the platform. Robert Woods I submitted. You don't see the Bob price. Check out this Terry McLaurin. This was a card I got off of Beckett Marketplace last year, probably towards the beginning of the season. For I want to say I'd have to go back and watch the video. I paid around $10 for that card.
That's what I'm saying. I love this, and this is a great thing to show. If you go to local stores or shops or trade card shows, buy up a bunch of these ones. As long as Star Stock takes them, send them to Star Stock. Let them process it for you, man. Because you're right, you can find greater value sometimes on there.
Absolutely, awesome. Especially on the skill position players. I mean, running backs, wide receivers.
It's cool too. Like what I'll say, I know people are complaining about the processing time. I understand. And I've got 3 boys, right? And what I tell them is, look, we just got to keep doing something all the time. So you get into a system where it starts paying for itself, right? So we try to grade a card or 2 every month. Same thing with Star Stock. We try to send cards to Star Stock every month or 2. And that way you start just seeing them pop in your account. Now, I wish they did a better job of showing you that. I'm still complaining about that. But what I like, man, is that if you go to a show, like we were at a show the other day, we picked up 4 Tuas. Actually, we were at a card shop. We picked up 4 Tuas, Prisms. And I decided I'm going to send the Star Stock. This way, they're going to pre-screen them for me. If they're Star Stock A, I'll use Star Stock to grade it. If it's a B, I'll probably just sell it on Star Stock.
Yeah, but how do you feel about their raw grading process? I mean, the consensus is, I mean, I hear it all the time from the guys here in the chat and the community. I mean, we're looking at 60% of cards sent in raw that look good with the naked eye. They're coming back Star Stock B.
Yeah, so I understand that, and I guess so. Here's the way I look at it. If I'm Star Stock and they've gotten in this grading business, and they, whether they like it or not, it is a differentiator, okay? But they can't be too open about it. Everything can't be an A. Like we've said, when you open a pack of cards, every card's not a PSA 10. We know that. So they are being a little more screening of it. Now, to me, I like that because what I don't like selling raw cards. On eBay or anything like that, where I have to worry about a return. And I don't want to be responsible for saying, hey, it's in good condition and arguing with the condition. So I normally sell stuff that's graded, or I sell it through ComC or StarStock because they then are the third party who's grading it. Now, I'll be honest, I've been upset because, in fact, here's a good example. I bought StarStock a bunch of cards before they started offering the PSA, and I shipped them to my house, and then I just flipped them around and shipped them back to StarStock when they offered the grading. I'm like, well, now I'll have them grade them. And when they went back in the system, the Star Stock A ratio was way down. So I took out 10 Star Stock A's of Hero. I got 2 or 3 that came back Star Stock A's when they're back in. And I'm sitting there going, now nothing changed. They just were shipped. Now, at the same time, I understand from Star Stock's perspective, they're making this bin of Star Stock A's. Now, whether you like it or not, that's what they're doing. They get card in. This is an A. They put it in the A bin. When they go to grade 5 A's, they're going to pull out the 5 best A's, right? Because they want to get higher PSA grades. Now, here's something else to think about. What does that mean when you want to ship one home? Well, they're probably going to pull one of the less better A's, right? Because you're taking off their platform. They want to keep the better quality on their platform and the lesser quality not. So I do think, you look at it as they're no different than anybody used for pre-screening, right? If I go to PSA guy or PSA subs group, some of them are going to come back and say, no, I wouldn't submit this one, right? He might try to buy it from me or tell me, to sell it raw. So it is what it is. I like the pre-screening that Star Stock does for me, though. Even though it pisses me off sometimes, I do appreciate it.
Certainly. Have you seen this? The new feature, the collection feature, the public collection.
Yeah.
And their export tool. Oh,
yes.
Dude, the export tool is so sick.
It is. So I will say, I asked about the export tool several times back in December, January, just for tax purposes, because you got to kind of see what you're buying and selling. And they sent me a report, and I asked, when this is coming out. And they said, hey, we're going to have it out as a feature. And I was like, that's awesome. So I do think that's great. They've done that. I will say my opinion of this though is I don't think the way this platform's built, they can scale. I really think they're going to need to change this platform. Like I'm expecting to log into StarStock one day and see a totally different platform, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I just think, again, as they start getting more and more of this product in and more pictures and stuff. Another thing, for example, the search functionality for me sucks, and I also find that listing cards sucks. And I hate to be this brutally honest, but when you're listing a card, let's say you go to your Prism cards and you hit the 2019 Prisms and you hit your football cards and you got 400 of them and you scroll to the bottom and you click one and you price it and you go back to the back, it's going to bring you to the top of the list again. And then you got to scroll all the way back down to card 400 and whatever it was. You know what I'm saying? That process takes forever for me. And it's their interface. Right? I don't know if that makes sense, but that drives me. Like I have, I think 2,000 cards in the system, but I only have 500 listed because it takes forever to price these cards.
I totally forgot I had 2 PSA 9 Prism Daniel Jones in here.
Isn't that a great feeling? That's another thing I will say too that I'll make a point of. You're right about that. I will go through my account and find some cards that I'm like, oh man, I forgot I bought 3 Shies because I sold off a bunch of these and bought some A's or whatever. What I've been doing is I put those in my watch list. I've now been using my watch list for tagging cards in my account that I like or have value that I forget about, kind of my top 10 or top 100, which means my watch list now are cards that I'm, tracking more than a watch list of buying, if that makes sense. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. I wish there was more ways to sort this. And I think they're going to have to change the platform in order to do that because I just think the interface isn't designed to be robust enough. But I will say I'm still using it. I will say the volume is definitely down. People are not buying as crazy as they are. And prices, I'd also say, too, are kind of more in check with what eBay is. There's a little value on StarStock A's, right? But StarStock B's are in line with Raws, if not a little bit less than a Raw.
I agree with you. You just, you take that shipping into consideration with the eBay, and this, you don't have that.
Have you bought any old vintage football cards? I have bought some old basketball cards on this. But
yes.
Football.
I bought the PSA 4 Walter Payton.
On StarStock?
No. I haven't bought any vintage. There's no vintage on StarStock. The most vintage person you get is Tom Brady.
Let's say, do they have Manny? No, they don't because he's not active, right?
They got to be active. So
yeah.
The oldest dude on here is Brady and
I kind of wish they had some Rice or some Montana or some of the maybe they should add that at some point.
I think they have to at some point, right?
Because I even look at it like I said, one thing I like about StarStock is I can use them for grading, right? So my boys and I, we open a blaster. Okay, let's be honest, our budget's not big, but let's say we find a blaster of Optic. We open the blaster of Optic. We pull out the rated rookies. We pull out the Halos or whatever. We send them to StarStock. If they come out of StarStock, hey, son, why don't we take $30 out of our StarStock account or sell some cards and grade that one card with the goal it comes back a 9 or 10. And then, I'm saying that to me is still fun in the hobby. You can still do that with StarStock and a blaster box.
Yeah, for sure. I see you're the first person to tell me that the breakers, the pack rippers and stuff, they're using this platform a lot because the fees are so low. The ability to offload all the raw cards that,
And just like you're buying on Beckett Marketplace, there's guys on here who've been buying up, all the C's of a certain player. Like I've been buying up, I'll tell you, I've been buying up a lot of the Kevin Durant cards, the BS Topps cards, his paper cards. They're like $50, $60. And those are StarStock C's.
StarStock C's, but it's Durant, so.
I gotta beat my dog.
You gotta feed him? Is he hungry?
No, I was teasing. I was gonna beat my dog for barking. He's
fine. Oh, you're gonna beat.
No harm has come to the dog.
No problem. Well, shout out to some more dudes. I saw. Let me see. Who else is in the house? Drew Easy Does It. I like that name. Oh, Matthew Vescovi. What's up, man? Shout out to him. New longtime collector. He was telling me in an email that he pulled a Brady. It's a Brady rookie card. I can't remember the exact card. It's not, the Contenders auto, but it was a good card.
awesome.
I think it was Upper Deck, and he's like, I thought the card was garbage at the time, but he preserved it, put it away in the box, and now he's like, I really got something. You know,
Yeah, that was awesome.
Flipping Steve in the house. What's up, man? Flipping Steve. I think he said something about Dooley's. Are you going to Dooley's? I don't know if he meant Dallas or
Oh, maybe Chantilly. I know there's a conference. Dulles. That's what it is. Dull.
Dulles.
Yeah. So Dulles, Virginia, is having a regional show, and that's normally. It used to be like a Dallas show. Now Dallas has blown up, but the Chantilly shows I think twice a year, and normally you have like blowout cards is normally there because it's in their backyard. Also, Steel City's normally there, so it's normally a pretty big show, and I definitely plan to go to that. In fact, I'm planning to go to as many trade shows as I can in 2021. I haven't gotten out to any. Well, I won't say that. I went to a local one, but I'm hoping to go to Dallas one time this year. I'm hoping to go to the Nationals. So how about yourself? You been any shows down there? I think Florida's got some stuff going on.
No, man. I want to, but I'm trying to, you know, be respectful to my wife and children with the whole COVID scenario and stuff. And it's just,
Yep. Well, your situation's different. I live alone,
yep.
and so it's totally easy for me to take that risk. So I understand. But yeah, I'm looking forward to some of the shows that are definitely coming out.
Yeah, me too, man. Me too. I can't wait to go to a show, dude. It's going to be a blast. I think, from talking to Brad to come back, and he was telling me, I mean, California. So I imagine that the prices to set up a table would be similar here in my area, about $35 to set up a table at a show. I think that's a great spot to go and sell cards, avoid taxes, shipping, all those, types of headaches.
Yep. No, I agree. In fact, I would say what I was going to say, are you going to go to the National? I assume you and Brad are going to go to the National, right?
Yeah, I really want to. Really want to.
I saw one of the guys did a video. I forget who it was. I think it was Mojo Sport, and they did a Airbnb with a bunch of other people. I think that would be kind of fun. Maybe get an Airbnb with a bunch of guys, right? We could do do something local in the area, because that way you have not just a show, but you have the after evening activities, right? You could have poker at night, some Zion poker maybe or something like that.
Poker. Okay. No, I see what you're saying. We could, instead of having chips, we could have cards or something that we put in the middle.
Exactly, man. But also just the camaraderie. Do some streaming, do some after hour stuff. Not get in trouble, but make it fun. So I'll mention it to you. And I will say I'm seriously considering a road trip down to Dallas in May. Like driving down to Dallas and maybe picking up people who want to come along the way. I'm in Virginia. I think it's about a 19-hour drive, but we'll see.
Wow, 19-hour drive, man.
I wouldn't do that solid. In fact, the goal, honestly, right, I'm thinking to myself, is maybe pick a few spots on the way and hit a few. I'm sure I've got some hobby friends between freaking Washington, D.C. and Dallas that I could go do a break at their shop maybe, or do a live at their shop, visit them, and then go to Dallas or whatever. But I think maybe making like a road show out of it would be kind of fun.
Dude, that would be a blast. Anything like that in person, hanging out with the boys. Sounds like fun, man.
That's why I really want. In fact, I want to go to shows more for the people than it is for the buying and selling. I won't even say. I'll be honest. Like, to me, I'd probably take a few cards, but I wouldn't be going really to sell. I'd probably be going to sell enough that I could support the trip, and then I'd also probably like to, if we went as a group, we should buy some product and rip it that night. Do like a personal break, rip type of thing, split it between each other. Buy some extravagant box of Prism, 2017 and Chase Mahomes maybe. Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah, man. Of course, somebody's gonna film everything.
I mean, think about that. Maybe we get to a show, we could trade some cards, trade up, get a box of Prism 2017, and do a personal rip one evening. That'd be crazy.
Matthew, you got a great question here. Blaine, we just answered. This is real quick before let me kind of back up here for a second, because this is Scott Smith's Action Network. This is his second revision at the 2021 mock draft coming up here in just a few weeks. And obviously, there's a lot of moving pieces, and we don't really know who. I think this year it's harder than ever to discern which team is going to draft which player, because all the scouts haven't had a chance to go to the combine and talk to each other and all that kind of stuff.
Also,
but this guy's been voted the most accurate mock drafter for like the last 2 years. So I really trust and value his opinion. And he's got the Panthers taking Trey Lance. He had him previously taking Kyle Pitts, but he thinks that the Deshaun Watson trade is going to fall through because of what's going on with him now. So they're now looking at taking a quarterback, and Trey Lance, very athletic. I like Trey Lance. His similar skill set, I think, to like Jalen Hurts type of guy.
Personally, Lawrence is the only one who's going to be around 5 years from now. That's my opinion.
I don't know about that, man. I don't know about that.
Just, again, look at some of these quarterbacks, man. They wash fast. These guys go in and out. I mean, like, look at poor Darnold. I mean, the Jets could trade him to oblivion, and the kid might never really get – like, and what happened to Rosen? Was Rosen really that bad? I mean, because – and I'll just say this. Well, check this out. I got my Rosen card right here. Was Rosen really that bad that the man can't get a job in the NFL?
He's on San Francisco.
No, he's not. He's cut now, isn't he? Is he
he got cut? Let me pull it up.
I thought recently he was cut, but I have these cards for you guys, and my Kaiser and my well, you know what I got. I can't do it the right way.
Yeah, well, February 8th, Rosen will get another year of seasoning under Kyle Shanahan. That was February 8th, 2021. So
cool. Hey, man, I'm gonna hold on my Rosen right there. You know what I should do?
Yeah, one year deal, 1 year contract, 49ers. But as of right now, he's still a backup to Jimmy Garoppolo.
So this is one of the first off the line polls as well. Number 14. Back when we would get first off the line, when the common people could get them. Before it was for the rich only. Those are
Matthew. So I'll let Ziggy answer this because I've answered it in the video, but all the research and everything I've seen cross-correlated over with basketball and other sports too, brother, is that the college jersey cards just decline in value unless they're, like Ziggy said, a national treasures, something that's very rare, autographed, has a memorabilia patch.
Here's the best answer for it, Matthew. A friend of mine explained to me. He said, look at it like this. He goes, you like Tom Brady? He goes, yeah, I love Tom Brady. He goes, I've got friends who love Tom Brady, but they don't want to ever see him in a Michigan jersey, right? So if you hate Michigan, you're never going to want to see Tom Brady in that jersey. And that's not the case now because obviously people would pay a lot of money. But the point is, rivalries are what keep people from buying value. So like Burrow is great, right? But if you hate LSU, like you're an Auburn fan or Alabama fan or Gator fan, you're never going to buy a Burrow. That's not going to be your PC card. And that is why you should save them college cards. College cards. Now, at the same time, the converse to that is that in those niche markets, like in a college town, like if you go to, what's the guy, Card Collector 2, he sells a lot of Ohio State stuff because Ohio State fans come there, they'll go to his shop, and they'll pay a premium. So if you do get that stuff, you had a friend on before, the LSU guy, right? He probably can sell a whole bunch of LSU stuff. So I will say, as a general collector, I stay away from college. If you do get into college, sell it to college collectors in those college towns. Find a guy at LSU, find a guy at University of Virginia, whatever it is, and you'll get the premiums there. But I just don't typically touch college products.
But I will say, with so many more people in the market these days, there is an opportunity to flip these cards because a lot of them do come with that rookie card logo, like the Prism draft picks. They come with a rookie card logo. They're shiny. And at the time that they're released, there's very few sets of those brand new players in an official licensed card. And so you have the ability to flip these. And people last year profited on all of the 2020 rookies with those Prism draft picks. But as soon as that Donruss is released, and then Optic and Select and Prism and everything else, they just tank.
Panini has not really released their 2021 calendar. And and I know Panini, they're going to use Lawrence like they use Zion, which means there'll probably be a college, an NT college product. There'll be an immaculate college product. There'll be a draft college product. They will do as much as they can. And at the same time, people will make money in every one of those products. If you buy early, sell, flip, you can make money in them. So it just, for me, I don't have the time, patience, and energy to do that. So I will probably ignore most of the college products. But yeah, friends will make a ton of money off draft. The draft And again, with Lawrence this year, Lawrence is going to be like Zion is for football. If I'm wrong, I'll be shocked.
Yeah, I will say that Voodoo Rage here, a long fantasy football OG, right? And he's in Buffalo, diehard, but also very knowledgeable about the sports analytics behind the NFL. And I agree with him in this comment that Josh Allen, we don't know how good he is yet. I think he's going to continue to progress upwards, which also makes Mitch Trubisky like the best backup in the NFL right now, doesn't it? I mean, Mitch Trubisky signed a one-year deal with Buffalo. He's in Buffalo now as a backup behind Josh Allen and that incredible coaching staff that's brought Josh Allen to the level he's at.
What's that mean for Fromm? For Jake Fromm? Remember Jake? Wasn't he picked there last year?
Yeah. I think he's just they're gonna keep grooming him as well.
Yeah, because there's a lot of guys like that, man, who just being, they never really get a shot. So we'll be interested. I mean, we'll see. I think I would rather give Fromm a shot than Trubisky personally, but I don't really know.
What's going on, Darren? Cheers to you. JJ Bama, I have been to Cigar City Brewing. They got some good beers too, man. They got some good beers too.
It's funny. Sean made a comment about Lawrence. I'll tell you, back when Lawrence won the Clemson a few years ago in the championship, I was thinking then about what year is he going to be out in his prison product? I mean, I will say that. I've been a fan of him since he's been in college. I do like him in Clemson. So, yeah, it's no sleeper that he's going to be really good. He's also going to have and I'll tell you, here's another sad thing is that he's going to have a lot of forgiveness, right? If he comes out next year and just is terrible and breaks like every rookie record throwing more interceptions than touchdowns, they're still going to say, oh, don't worry, he's fine. They will give him every chance in the world to succeed. Yeah, Trubisky picked over Mahomes and Watson. That is absolutely crazy.
And Andy Dalton's on the Bears now, and he looks like he's going to start the season for the Bears.
I never saw Mahomes, and I didn't know him in college. I don't remember a single college game he was in, but I watched Watson. And again, to me, I would have picked Watson first overall that draft season. Now, again, Mahomes is clearly better, but Watson still should have been the number 2 quarterback.
Yeah. I think if they were the scouts and stuff were actually doing their homework, looking at the athletic profile, the college metrics, the team, the surrounding supporting cast that they had to work with in college and everything, I would agree with you. But I mean, I still think that Patrick Mahomes is a better overall athlete, better suited for the NFL than Deshaun Watson. Some people may disagree with me, but look at what's going on with him today. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, Mahomes is amazing. He really is.
What's up, Brad? Brad Nolan in the house. Got my peanut butter beer. I sent that to him, and I know it's right up his alley. And he said the Bears never even interviewed Watson. What? I know. What's up with that, man? What is up with that? And now you got the red rifle, bro.
A weird draft when they picked him. Like, it shocked a lot of people. They moved up that far to pick Trubisky, who was a one-year quarterback in college, right? I think he only started 1 year at was it Duke or was he North Carolina? One of those ACC teams. It's kind of like Daniel Jones in some ways.
I think that Daniel Jones, I'm excited for him this year, man. Giants fans, Anthony Malone, I know he's out there somewhere, should be excited about his G-Men this year because I think that the Giants are still going to grab them if you look at the draft projection, and maybe they're going to deviate from this now that they picked up Kenny Golladay. But if you look at where they're picking at number 11, there's going to be a ton of talent. I mean, he had them previously picking Jalen Waddle, who's a good, solid wide receiver. But now he's got him picking Devonta Smith, who's the Heisman Trophy winner. Yeah. Arguable that, I mean, on paper, he doesn't look as good as Jamar Chase from LSU. But Devonta Smith still looking very good. And now imagine if they take Devonta Smith, what that's going to do for Daniel Jones rookie cards. That's why I haven't sold my, my silvers and stuff.
I wouldn't sell him until probably the beginning of the season. And you hope, wait to see. Yeah, here's what I'll be honest. You wait to see when the schedule's out. And then you look and see when's he going to get on a run, right? If he starts the season with like 2 or 3 losses, you have to kind of bear and grin it, or maybe you sell before the season starts. But if you have a soft start for the season, you get 2 or 3 wins, you're like, that's what I'm selling him.
Well, I'm with you there, but I feel, I mean, I don't know what you think about the Ziggy, but last year, what I saw, I mean, dude, the first week, going into the first week when it was all, big game coming up, I mean, it was all over news, TV. Everybody was talking about, all the fantasy football drafts were taking place. Everybody was talking about who to take in fantasy season-long drafts and getting ready for the first regular season week. And the hype was insane. And that was when prices peaked that week. I mean, I literally sold over 100 cards that first week.
Yeah.
And made a couple grand. I was like, I was a tuna fisherman in like out there in the right time of the season, and the fish were just jumping in the boat.
I agree. This year will be, again, I don't know. Just my thought on Jones is this. Let me ask you this. Do you want to have him in your collection 5 years from now? My answer is right. I probably don't want him 2 years from now. So to me, this is the year you'd sell. I'll tell you, I'm the same way with Lamar Jackson. I don't want Lamar 5 years from now. There's few of these guys that I even want 5 years from now. I don't want Mayfield 5 years from now. So I'm looking at, when do I sell him? When do I get rid of him? Like I look at quarterbacks as a kind of like white wines, right? They sour after 5 years and turn to vinegar. Very few are good. There are few Mahomes in the NFL quarterback range.
Well, Mahomes and Tom Brady, and I wonder about Mahomes' overall legacy because he is now the highest paid quarterback in NFL history, right? And you look at that, and that's completely contrary to how Brady has won all his Super Bowls.
Yeah, well,
now it's very much known that Brady is, notorious or infamous for taking the bare bones deal so that we can his team.
Mahomes will probably do the same thing. I have a feeling you'll see him. He did the big deal, I think, to kind of set the market and to get the money. But I think you'll see him restructure as he goes.
He's definitely worth it, but it's a self-sacrifice to say, "Hey, I'll take lower money. I don't need it. All I need is, $100 million or whatever the money. I mean, how much money could you possibly need? I know he's having a kid, but come on, I got 2 kids. You don't need that kind of money."
I will say this, I don't think the Chiefs and Mahomes though are the next Patriots. I really don't think so. I mean, I think they're going to be a strong challenger, but I don't think they're going to be as dominant as people thought. If anything, that's what the Bucs show this year, right?
Yeah, man, the Bucs are here, baby.
Now, will the Bucs repeat? Probably not. It's extremely difficult to do that.
What?
I know it's sad to say that, but I'll be honest. I'd love to see it. I'm just as a fan of Brady, I would love to see them do it. I would not bet on it, but it would be fun to watch. It
will be fun to watch. And so far, we're on the right track. I mean, we've Chris Godwin franchise tag. We've got Shaq Barrett back. We got Levante David back. We got Sue back now.
Yeah, I have to applaud that. The owners let them put the team back together. I don't think that happens very often where Super Bowl teams bring back everybody. Normally, they never come back the same. So that's gonna be pretty interesting.
It's very hard to do. But when you got Tom Brady calling a lot of the shots and heavily involved, and they're allowing him to make what, I guarantee you Jason Light and Bruce Arians are allowing him to make at least 50-60% of those decisions, and they're heavily driven by what he says. I mean, he's the one who's got the track record. I mean, he proved it that the Patriot way, the Patriot era was more Brady than it was Belichick.
What do you think Brady does when he's done with football as a player?
Dude, look at Breeze. I mean, he just signed that mega deal with NBC, be a commentator. I think Brady will keep playing until his legs are just like don't work anymore.
I don't know. Like buy a team or GM a team because he does have a mind for the game. He likes it. Our coach, I don't know. I'd like to see him in it. I'll be honest, I don't hope he goes to commentating. I really don't. I'd rather see him do something else.
I don't see him doing that. I see him being more of a coach, GM type of role.
Are there any Starstock A Darnolds out there? I tell you, Starstock's brutal on those Prism rookies, man. There's not many A's.
Yeah, there's not many A's, and I was going to look up the news. I think that his cards are just going up just based on speculation and hype that the Jets are going to look right here, right from Jets would be wise to trade Sam Darnold. So I think
His
there's a lot of savvy investors in our marketplace now, and they're thinking about, well, Sam Darnold's going to be traded. Let's go ahead and buy his cards now, get in early. That's how you're successful as a card flipper and investor. You get in early. So go ahead and get him now, because when he's traded, I want to go ahead and have my cards listed at double of what I bought them for a month ago.
It also depends on where he gets traded to. Like, let me ask you this: is what's his name? Who got traded to the Detroit Lions? Who's the quarterback?
Jared Goff. Jared Goff went to the Lions. Matt Stafford went to, and Matt Stafford won. His rookie cards won in that scenario.
Jared's career over? Is he the next Josh Rosen as far as card value? I mean, you don't feel like he went to Detroit to win a Super Bowl, right? That's not the way they're talking about this at all.
No, I mean, look, they got rid of Kenny Golladay. I mean, they're in a massive rebuilding phase, I think.
Yeah, dude, Jared just is, he was in the Super Bowl a few years ago, as a second-year player, third-year player. Now he's in Detroit, looking down the barrel of a restructuring in Detroit. That's sad. And in fact, look at that rookie class, right? And Wentz got traded to the Colts.
Now, that's an upgrade for Wentz. I'm excited to see what Wentz can do. This is like a make or break for Wentz, I think. So he's got the O-line now. He's got the weapons. He's got the defense. They're making big improvements to their defense this offseason.
So 5 years from their rookie class, though, of that rookie class, who do you want to have between Wentz, Jared, and Dak? Personally, I wouldn't want any of them. I don't think.
Wait. Say that question again.
The rookie class was 2017, right? And that's 17 or 16? No, it's 16. I'm sorry.
That's 16. Dak and Wentz and Jared Goff.
And Dak. Those are the big quarterbacks, right? Who were first round. Actually, the first two were first round, and Dak was a seventh round or whatever. Those guys demanded major value in the sports card market. Today, Dak's probably the most valuable one, but he'll go down as well in another year or two when the Cowboys fail to get to a Super Bowl. And that's what I'm saying. Of the rookie class coming out in 5 years, the only one who's going to be worth valuable will probably be Lawrence.
But the problem is the Cowboys don't have a defense worth a crap.
The Cowboys' problem is the ownership. They have no general manager. It's kind of like the Redskins. The Redskin and Cowboy ownership blocks them from being successful. And I'll also say this: they're not in the business for winning championships. They're in the business for making money. If they tell you they're for championships, that's how they're telling you they want money. Because he's making billions of dollars as a Cowboy owner. He's not losing money. So he's a very, very successful businessman. Why would he change the way he's making money? I don't think he wants a championship.
I mean, dude, he's been around forever. How many championships did he get in the early '90s with that dynasty they had back then?
But that's when he wasn't as involved. That's his problem. Is back then he bought the team. He was a smart businessman, and he let Jimmy Johnson run those teams. He built those. Jimmy Johnson built that as GM. He drafted those teams, wins the championship. Switzer comes in, gets a championship off that legacy, and then what's his name? Jerry Jones has ruined the franchise since. At the same time, ruin is relative because they're very popular and they're very profitable. So championship, in my opinion, is not why he's down there. And he would argue, no, I'm here for Dallas to win a championship. That's, I disagree. You want to win a championship, you're a billionaire, you could have won a championship by now. You could bring in the right people. You got turnover control. Like they say about good leaders. Good leaders have smarter people around them, right? I don't think he really wants a Super Bowl ring. So I don't think Dak will ever get one. I think Dak will be doomed to a low price.
That's interesting. I don't know. I mean, I see Jerry Jones. He seems very passionate about the team and about what they do, and he's obviously heavily involved. Too involved. I do agree with that.
Everybody says that. That's the thing. Everybody will tell you that. He needs to hire a general manager. He's got a great wallet, right? He's been buying players. He's even got a good draft and good talent, but he keeps getting in the way. I mean, the whole Dak thing is ridiculous. How long he took to get the Dak stick. Here's another perfect example. Ezekiel Elliott. Do you guys remember that player? What a bust when you think about how much money they spent. I mean, that dude.
Rookie card bust right there.
Not just rookie card. He just ruined the franchise. He's ruined it for running backs because they look at him and go, well, that's why you don't sign running backs for big deals. That guy is a and again, they signed him over Dak at the time. It made no sense to me.
Well, he does have a good athletic profile. You know, he's a good athlete.
Who's that?
But it did not last year. He fumbled the ball so much. I mean, it really hurt him. His stock really plummeted last year.
He did not have that big contract. He'd be looking at being cut in a year. But because of that big contract, they'll milk him out and keep him around. But again, he's overrated player, terribly overrated player. He's from the same rookie class, as CMC, right?
2017.
Yeah. Hunt. Well,
Ezekiel Elliott, yeah.
Ezekiel, Alvin Kamara. Again, look at that.
It was 2016.
Ezekiel Elliott got that big contract and probably the most worthless running back from that rookie class. Because think about Alvin Kamara, right? Great running back compared to him. Even Kareem Hunt sat out a year. Better running back than Ezekiel Elliott.
Well, Zeke's a year before them. Those guys were 2017. Zeke's 2016. Not much. It's not like hardly anything. Was all 2016? No, 2016 had a base, right? Or were all bases silvers?
Yeah, I think they were bases in 16. What are his cards selling for?
Well, there's no prism. Like the prisms are all gone. But look, you could get a select for $15, man. Tanked.
Yeah. I wouldn't touch him.
$13 for a select. That's really low. Honestly, though, you might be able to flip him though when the season starts. His stock is really hurt, man.
Yeah.
45. They're on their way back up. I mean, let's face it, he's gonna be their bell cow again going into this new season.
You're right. You definitely probably could make some money on people buying him, but I just would feel sick.
Honestly, I'd rather spend like at his prices still, I'd rather go and buy some Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard's a guy that I think he's a really good running back as well, but he's behind Ezekiel Elliott there, and I think he may move.
I don't know.
Oh, check this out. I'll share this with you guys when you guys may grab this. There's only one left. This is from ComC, but it's a Jarvis Landry juice. Look at this. National Treasures, 74 out of 99. Autographed on card. Look how much. $32.
Yep.
Check that out.
This is the weird thing I will say about National Treasures is if that was the RPA, it'd be worth a whole lot more.
Wasn't that looks like some but it's memorabilia right there.
But it's not the RPA. That's a colossal. There's several parallels in NT. The NT RPA is to 99. And there's only 99 of them. And that's what makes the NTRPA so valuable. And this even goes back, the history of the NTRPA goes back to Exquisite. And Exquisite was the first product, which is Upper Deck. And the guy who made Upper Deck made apparently National Treasures. But apparently when they did this, these RPAs were made to 99. That was.
So is this it? Well, that's out of 5.
Yeah, that's not it. No, it'd be.
Ooh, look at that one, man.
No, it's 14. Also they'll do vertical or horizontal depending on the year, and one year, one's worth more than the other.
He's a buy low, dude. I mean, I know he's approaching the age apex, but I mean, he's a wide receiver. He's heavily involved. I mean, he's a solid, consistent week in, week out stud in any offense. Jarvis Landry, I like Jarvis Landry.
The challenge, I think, is that. If you're selling to a collector, right, who are you selling them to? A Dolphin fan or a Browns fan?
Browns fan, man. You're selling to a Browns fan or you're selling to a Jarvis Landry fan
that's the thing,
because you're familiar with him from fantasy football. You're familiar with his days from LSU, his days with Miami. I mean, dude, this guy's helped me win championships and money and fantasy. He's a stud. He's just not a super flashy athlete or anything, but his cards are super underpriced.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't touch him. He's not going to win a championship.
Oh, you better be careful. I mean, a lot of Browns fans think that this is the Browns' year, man. I mean, look what they did to the
That's
Steelers.
why that's why they're called fans, because they're fanatics, so they're not logical. I'm just
True.
serious. The Browns are not winning championship. In fact, I'll be honest. The Browns' closest window to championship was last year when Mahomes was out for the fourth quarter. Think about that. In that playoff game, that was the closest they will ever come to maybe going to the Super Bowl. They could have knocked off the Chiefs. They were down by, I think, like 6 points, right? And the fourth quarter, Mahomes is out with a concussion. Remember this? And they couldn't put it on the board, man. They could not do it. And
Well,
that's me.
that's when the phrase was termed "anything is possible" because Chad Henne came in and ran for it, man, on fourth down.
Just put it this way, that's just the Browns, whether it's their curse or it's just the way the Browns play. But that Mayfield does not have the it factor. If you are an it quarterback, if you are really supposed to be here, it factor, you win that game. You take advantage of the fact that the best quarterback is down, he's out, and you win that game. They're not going to get a chance like that again. So no, I don't think the Browns won't win their conference next year. I know people think they will, but they won't win the conference next year.
I think they've got a good chance. They've got as good of a chance as they're ever going to have. And
We'll
if there's any time, I mean, I think that a lot of the curse was vanquished when they just wrecked the Pittsburgh Steelers there in that first playoff game. But
Steelers had a soft schedule though. Again, if you look at the Steelers, they were playing on a bad schedule from previous year. They played no number one teams in any divisions this year, except for their own, which was the Ravens. So the Steelers were just counterfeit. But anyway,
yeah, they really were. Steelers were.
In my opinion, when you're buying, you should be buying trying to win championships. Even look for who's going to get on a championship team. Like, here's an interesting player. What do you think about who's the guy, the crazy wide receiver the Bucks have? You guys are trying to re-sign Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah, I hope that the Seahawks don't get him from us.
Did he win a ring with Steelers or not?
What happened?
Did he have a ring with the Steelers?
Yeah, he's got one with the Steelers.
And now he's got 2 rings. So my thoughts there. I mean, does he like? Here's a good question: would you rather have his card, or would you rather have Landry's card? Because when it's all said and done, in my opinion, Antonio Brown's going to have at least 2 rings. One with its franchise, it's the Steelers, which is going to remember him forever. The other is going to be with Brady, so you're going to have the Brady tie-in. Landry, I mean, why would I hold Landry? I'm just saying.
Because he's younger. I mean, Antonio Brown's rookie card is Gronk's year, 2010.
Yeah.
So I mean, we're talking about a dude well over the age apex, and I think he's likely to re-sign in Tampa on another 1-year deal just to see if we can run it back.
And he could get some things. He could have 3 rings. I don't see Landry ever getting 1. Maybe he gets 1 in like his old age is when he gets traded to the Bucks.
I love all the skill weapons in Washington, by the way. I think Curtis Samuel is an awesome addition. He's another speedster, which is interesting because now you've got 2 speedsters. So somebody's going to get open in that offense. And Ryan Fitzpatrick, no fear, right? This is now what? His like 18th different team. He's making the rainbow.
I would say the coaching there is a big thing. And the VP general manager. They Washington might have gotten it right. Like their big problem is they're a lot like Dallas, right? The owner's too involved, but he might have stepped away now with Rivera, and I don't know. The Redskins are interesting. We'll see. I'm sorry, the Washington football team is interesting.
They're a huge winner from this free agency. I mean, dude, look at what they did, and they've still got Heineke, who showed up big time in the playoff game against the Bucs.
But they're tough schedule.
Their schedule.
Yeah, they're gonna have a tough schedule because they won the conference of the division, so they're gonna play number ones. And let's be honest,
tough schedule.
They're gonna get their stuff handed to them by everybody in number ones. If you look at the NFC number ones, I think all of them would beat them. Right? The Packers would crush them. The West would crush them. And who else am I thinking about? East, West, Central. Who's in the Central? South, which would be the Saints. So the Saints might not, but the Bucs.
Oh, that's us.
Yeah. So that's I don't think I think they're going to struggle as a team. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, this last year was like the dumpster fire division of the year. They all had the worst record, but I think that the Eagles are going to come out on top this year from that division.
It will be fun to watch, man. It will be fun because we've talked about Dallas, we've talked about the Giants, we've talked about them all, and they could all, who knows, all struggle.
Has the 2021 schedule been released?
No, it's just going to say that. I don't think that comes out until at least after the draft, right? They got to do the draft first, and then I think like June, but I could be wrong.
Expected in May. I know they've added a week, right? They've got Amazon Prime is going to be airing a lot more games this year. It's going to be interesting.
And I think this will be full stadiums, right?
God, I hope so.
September. So I mean, that's what's gonna be like. That's what's gonna be really cool is that football could be coming back when the world comes back. So you could have, go out and meet your friends at the bar again, go watch a game, tailgating, everything that makes football awesome. So just to see a repeat of the Mahomes, Brady Super Bowl, right, in 22.
Whoa, I get it. Chase Young moves the needle. But I have to disagree that they have the best defense hands down. That would be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Just saying.
No, you can't say that. I mean, you got to give respect to the Rams, man.
The Rams? Oh, yeah. The Rams are legit. They're legit.
And then in the AFC, you got to look at there's some AFC power, as well.
But look what happened when Aaron Donald was not 100% healthy.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, again, that's another thing people don't realize. Look at the Chiefs. I mean, the Chiefs lost the Super Bowl because they didn't have, tackles. Right? Health is so damn important. And especially in some positions, that's the thing, football, man, those tackles killed the Chiefs. I mean, Mahomes couldn't breathe that night.
Yeah. Yeah, Jalen Ramsey's a monster. Aaron Donald's a monster. It's those Auburn DBs. Okay, yes. I'll give you that, but still.
It's going to be a fun football season, man. So how about yourself? What are your plans for some of these products? How are you going to get into select and stuff? Are you just targeting singles? You waiting for them? Like I'll be looking forward to seeing the first cards that start hitting, Star Stock, which will take time, right? Because let's assume packs start open on the 9th. It's going to take at least a month for this stuff gets processed, right? So I will be looking for that. I'll be looking for shows to kind of snag some singles. I also, like I said, I'll probably get in some breaks and get some singles from people there. But no, I'm super excited.
So it's all good, Keno. Oh, no, I didn't realize we were talking NFC East either. I thought we were talking NFL as a whole. NFC East, I'll give it to the Redskins.
I would agree with him there. Sure.
Yeah. So Ziggy, my plan with the 2020 product, I really like Optic. Like that's secretly my favorite set, and it's loaded. I would love to get my hands on it at retail prices, but been very difficult, even with the guidance and help of a seasoned expert retail Wild West hunter in Mike Ham, and he's here in Tampa. So like he'll text me, hey, I just saw the Target, guy over here, and I'll check, dude. I mean, with the way their Target's doing it now with the virtual line and everything, I mean, there's retail flippers that are just camping out there all day long, and they've got their girlfriends, their moms, their sisters, their brothers, their aunties, all involved. So, like, I'm just like, okay, I'm just going to invest in singles in the guys that I want to invest in. That's my whole thing. I try and look where nobody else is looking. And, like, I'm like, who is nobody talking about? And I go and look. And I find the value, man. And I find the value on those teams. I find the value in those players that are really good athletes that just haven't broken out yet. Like Tony Pollard's a good example. Like I feel good at his age, his athletic profile. He's just buried on a depth chart, man. He's buried behind Ezekiel Elliott, but with the it's just a perfect example of a guy that I look at, and I just keep doing this and I keep rotating, but my focus always stays on QBs. Like I want to definitely make sure that I have liquid cards. So I bought a lot of Jalen Hurts. Like I've got a lot of Jalen Hurts, mostly base cards. I've got some Tua, and I've been looking to get more Tua. His prices seem to be going up since the Will Fuller signing. it it kind of reinforces the fact that Miami's going to build around him. But that's really my strategy. So I'm really hoping that when all this focus is on the draft and Trevor Lawrence and all this cool stuff from Tops, I'm going to be over here buying 2020 Optic, 2017 Optic, like I'm going to be investing in the guys that are just, not demanded at the moment.
Yeah, that's a good plan. That's a good plan. I see Mike posted in here, buy secondary Optic mega boxes. Have you bought any secondary boxes or anything like that? Have you ripped anything yourself?
Really? He's saying to buy secondary op.
Yeah.
No, I haven't, man.
No,
I haven't.
I don't disagree with that. I have bought secondary market. I've paid the premium because to me, it's still cheaper than buying a hobby box, right? And you do get some good hits. Like I bought some Prism boxes off the retail Prism blasters for like 80, 90 bucks a blaster. So I don't disagree with that. That's not a bad plan. He says these mega boxes too give you 2 autographs in them as well. So that might be so. I have not seen any of the Optic in my area. And yeah, retail it's been frustrating, but I don't know. I still try.
So Ziggy, are you more of a collector or an investor?
It's a great question. It's funny. I would say I'm probably more of a collector than investor. And the reason I say that is when I sell, I'm typically selling for a reason. Like I need some money to pay for something, or I want to buy something else and I don't have any money. I got to continue to feed the hobby. And I normally don't sell at premium price, right? So I will normally sell to a friend for less than the market value. Because I'm like, hey man, I want to get this first of the line box. I'll say this card for 800. So I see, and I'll tell you another part about that too. I would rather sell a card to a guy who's going to collect it, PC it, or it's important to him and his family, than a guy who I know he's going to flip it or he's an investor. So I definitely would say I lean more towards a collector. I have total respect for the investor side. I mean, I definitely, see the angles and stuff, but it's even funny. Like we were saying earlier, you're right. People can make a lot of money off some of the Star Stock cards. I just think I'd feel bad buying a card and then selling it later on and seeing it go down. Like that doesn't make me feel good. And it happens, right? I mean, I know that you sell a card, next thing you know, it's $100. You sold it for $1,000, but I think I feel more bad about that. So I guess I lean more towards the collector.
Yeah, you're a good man, Ziggy. I definitely value the collection as well. I have appreciation for the artwork on the cards, the aesthetic.
Yep.
The aesthetics of the cards. And I think I have the most fun with just the strategy behind the whole investing and flipping game. Like it's so much fun to me.
I don't know there's a habit, whether this is a good or bad habit that can self-feed itself. You know what I'm saying? Like you really can get in it. You could start with $100 in sports cards and never have to put more money in. Now that's not normally the way it happens because we don't have patience and we want things faster. But my point is, you can get into a hobby where you spent money on it and you sell what you have to buy more and continue to do that. Nothing else is like that I've seen. Everything else has some bigger depreciation. And lately, the way the market is, it's even been easier.
Wow! Look at Sean Lane's comment. He's saying he's more than 2x his money investing in cheap retail wax on the secondary market.
Yeah. In fact, here's another thing, a good tip. So I admin in Facebook groups. One thing I love about that is you get to see a lot of activity. So I will see the same guy, right, who I know he's a flipper, but he posts, every Thursday he posts a bunch of product. But what I'll notice is if one product isn't selling fast enough, he has to sell it, right? So he might discount it later on because he's got to have so much money to go get the new stuff, right? So my point to that, what Sean's kind of saying is, yeah, if you look on eBay, blaster boxes can go for $100. But if you also look in Facebook groups and the guy's got 10 of them, you can probably get 10 of them for $70 a piece. You know what I'm saying? You can probably strike deals where a guy's going to get a profit and you're still going to pay less than that, exorbitant retail price. And as Sean is probably doing, you can hold it and then resell it later on. In fact, one of the biggest things I've learned in sports cards is patience. This is a patient man game. If you're patient, you can make a lot of money. Most of us aren't, especially when you have kids, right? When my kids are around, I don't have sealed wax in the house. I have to hide it from them because we will. That's I want to see it now.
Fun, right?
Yeah, you definitely could buy like Prism. I think there was a time when Prism football there was so much out there that the box prices started dipping. Right, blaster boxes went from 100 down like 60. Now I think they're over 100 again. So yeah, you could have bought in that retail secondary market and then held them and sell them again. And if you continue to hold them, they're only going to go up. And I will say that about those products like Prism and Optic, those will hold value. I don't think Illusions or Playoff are good retail holds long term, in my opinion. Right? There's a lot of retail versions out there, products, but I think you're holding an Optic or a Prism box, you're in good space, man.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
Blaine's question is buy when it first comes out. It's not that when it first comes out. It's just that realize when it first comes out, yeah, everybody goes out and buys it, and you go to eBay and everybody's selling for the highest price, but that doesn't mean that's what you have to pay, right? You can negotiate with some of these people because again, they've got cash. They want to make some money too. They want to buy the next product. So one thing I did too in my area, I've gone out and met some of the retail flippers, right? So I know a few of them. I know how they've got their schedules. I know where they're going to be. I mean, I've bought product from them directly at higher prices, right? I'll call a guy, guy named Adam. It came Adam, can I get 3 blaster boxes for my sons? I know you're going to charge me more, but can you get me 3? Sure. Right. So I'm actually paying for that convenience as well, that I know he's going to get them for me. But with the way hobby prices are, this might be the best way to go, sadly.
Very, very interesting points that you guys make about the sealed wax. And speaking of which, I've got these 2 value packs of base Donruss, Ziggy. I want to give these away tonight.
Awesome, man. Awesome.
I want to give these 2 away. I was going to do one, and I didn't do a giveaway whenever I did the last live stream because I don't remember why. But, oh, yeah, it was last like Friday night. And I think, yeah, it was just, anyways, I want to give these 2 away tonight to whoever answers the question correctly first. And I want you to come up with a question, Ziggy.
Oh, man. What's the question?
Oh, man.
Something good here. Here was a really good question the other day. This is a really good one, too. I can't remember the guy's name. That's a basketball question. That wouldn't work. Let me come up with another one. Okay, let's talk. We'll think about a question. We'll think of a good trivia question here in a minute.
Okay. Yeah, well, this is just reminding me of that because this would be considered cheap seal wax. Yeah, I bought these in a big box from Steel City Collectibles, box of 12 of them. So I bought them for about $10. I've been reselling them on eBay for about $20.
When you go check retail, do you buy anything that you see in retail, or do you only buy football?
No, I buy anything I see. Like I tripled my money on some NBA hoops premium stock I got lucky on over Christmas break.
Another great tip too is you can use it to trade, right? Like if you see baseball series 1, buy the baseball series 1 and then trade it with some guy who's got the football that you want. So I will buy any of the 4 sports 5 sports now. If I see soccer, I'd buy that, but I'll buy, like I bought some Topps series 1 blasters a few days ago. It's got bombed by a bug.
I think they are. So people are, by the way, people are placing bets, Ziggy, on when you're going to take your Christmas lights down in your cabin.
They're not coming down. They're not coming down.
Maybe that could have been the trivia question right there. When are Ziggy's Christmas lights? They're never coming down, guys.
A seasonal thing. I guess they're up all year. It's funny. I have Christmas lights on my deck. I'm in a cabin right now. I'm really in the middle of nowhere. Like I don't have a neighbor anywhere around me. I could go out and shoot a gun. My dogs run around wild. It's I'm in the middle of nowhere. So,
speaking of Pokemon, have you seen our boy PSA 7 Brad, the comeback card investor, is no longer PSA 7 Brad. I'm calling him Bulbasaur Brad because the dude is selling Pokemon cards from his childhood that he probably earned in a Friday night tournament him and I did for dollars. It's taking kids lunch money. Now he's selling those cards for like $400 or $500 a piece.
That's awesome, though. That's awesome. I think that's great, man. I think it's great. Did he grade them first, or did he just selling them raw?
Well, I don't know. I'm sure he sent some in to be graded, but the screenshot he sent me was of them raw selling on ComC. It was like a first edition Chansey, which I know he had like a whole sheet of them.
Yeah, I'll tell you,
crazy dude.
Pokemon, I don't. It's just not my thing. I respect it. I just don't get it. Let me ask you this: are you are you would you be interested when the NFL does a Top Shot like product, an NFT product? Are you gonna
Oh, yeah. So they're doing it. They're
right?
doing it. NFL is doing it. Gronk, Mahomes tried to do it, and the NFL is like, "Whoa, wait a minute, guys. We want to get in on this action. They're going to
Yeah.
release it as a whole." I think that I would get in if I can get in super early. If I
Well,
get, if I'm early and I can get in on some good stuff very early and then flip it. I don't want to
what?
be in it long term. I don't trust it. I just don't.
Okay, okay.
Like I'm not long term invested in crypto either, in Bitcoin. I have bought some crypto in the past, but I haven't spent a considerable amount of money in it, and I just very leery about it. I like the tangible asset behind the sports cards. Like the big cards that I have, the big purchases I've made are all vintage because I feel the scarcity's there. Those players aren't going to tarnish their reputation at this point.
I will say
Feel
this.
very
I
safe.
totally agree with you. I mean, I'm an older traditional collector investor, but it could be huge in the NFL. That's all I'll say. I will say this: whoever does it, I assume it's gonna be Dapper again. I want to get in that line too. I do want to be in it as well because what I do like about the whole NFT thing is that you can see how much people are paying. Everything's public. It's on the blockchain, right? There's no hiding values. There's no counterfeits. There's no shipping. It's interesting. So I think the NFL. It's funny. I'm surprised the NBA's been so successful. I think the NFL would be even more successful. So I'm interested to see what they're going to do.
Yeah, there's no better show on turf than the NFL. I mean,
And that's what I'm saying. Their marketing machine, like,
yeah,
it, it'll just be it'll be interesting. I'm super excited. I mean, the fact, like I said,
no,
football's
yeah.
24/7, 365 right now. It's
Number
great.
one revenue earning league in the world, NFL. If you add up all the soccer leagues, all the
That's,
MLB, the
that's
football, if you add up all those, because there's so many different little divisions and leagues in all the European countries and stuff. If you
yeah.
add those all up, they earn more revenue on a yearly basis than the NFL. But
I,
if you look at them individually, which Wikipedia does, anyways, the NFL is the highest revenue earning league in the world by a
wow,
long shot.
wow, wow. That's what I'm saying. That's if they get into that, when they get into that, it's gonna be big. So I mean, you got to be early. You need to be first in line. There's no reason you shouldn't be. You need to be the Vegas fines of the NFL NFT market. So as soon as I find that line, I'll be sure to make sure I get you in that line, man.
Okay. Yeah, please do. Please do. Because, hey, man, I would love to own me a nice Tom Brady moment or a Gronk moment if I can get in early, but I'm not going to pay $1,000 for it.
Well, here's another. Well, again, I'm not going to talk about valuations, but I'm thinking about that too. Like, think about. I guess here's what's interesting. I guess they wouldn't be doing like hard hits. Remember when they used to do those hard hit moments? Those probably would not be NFT moments. Head to head collisions or knockout moments would not be NFT available. Whatever happened to Vegas fines? I think
Good
he's.
evening, Bark. Good evening, sir.
I don't know. I've talked to Chris a little bit on Instagram, but I have not seen him on his channel. I don't know what happened to him. But maybe Top Shot called him and said, "Look, dude, stop promoting. We have too many people already." Then they've got 400,000 people in Top Shot, and that's actually not that many when you think about it. Like, how many people do you think are in football cards? Is that a 400,000 person market? Is it bigger? Over under?
400,000. Well, see, I think so because I think even all the basketball guys, all the baseball guys, they still got football on the back of their head. I know there's some of them that are diehard, like myself, that are just diehard about football. But I think most of them have football in the back of their head. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
who. I mean, if you live in America, or even a lot of guys, shout out to Martin from Belgium, and I mean, look at a lot of guys like that overseas, they still have a huge passion for the NFL.
Yeah,
So
you're right. The DoD has done that. The DoD network has brought football to a lot of places as well, a lot of overseas places. So.
Bark says he figured Vegas fine 777, became a millionaire from Top Shot, and then retired. I
Well,
think he was telling me to get in early. It was either him or somebody in his community was messaging me telling me to get in early.
I talked to him about it back in October, November. I said it's not for me. He talked about it in December, January. I said it's not for me. So yeah, he definitely talked to me about it, and he has done very well off of it. Again, what's cool is that everything's public. You can see all these what everybody's paid for and how much money they've all made. The blockchain is completely public.
So that's what they've got going for them. They're completely public. They have the ledger, they have the serial numbers, the digital currency, the whole 9 yards. So that's what makes it feasible. But I don't know.
Here's what I guess one of the things that makes it attractive is let's say this. If I had a Tom Brady refractor card that was owned by Tom Brady, would that make it more valuable? Yes. Yes, it would, right? Yeah. But you can't prove that in the real world that Tom Brady owned it. In the blockchain world, you can. And that, I think, is where you will see. Like, I do think this whole blockchain thing is way inflated. But I do think what they're going to be able to do with the transparency in the blockchain is going to be very interesting, right? So you won't have, like, for example, here's a good example. If you go today and you want to buy a card, you go to eBay to check the value of the card. And what do? You look at sold comps. If it's a very rare card, maybe there's only a few comps on it, or maybe it was sold at an ask it now price. You don't know what the price was. And then there's the doubt of, hey, was the card even sold? Did his friend sell it to himself and never make them? There's doubt in those transactions. In blockchain, it's all there. You can see it. You know what I'm saying? So you can tell someone didn't inflate the price, or there's no shill bidding, I guess. So it makes things pretty interesting. Dibs.
What's your opinion on this, brother?
So Dibs, I'm using Dibs. My opinion on this is I'm concerned about fractionals. Okay, and this is a fractional. And why I say that is that there's no surprise. Like everybody's like, look at these big auctions, all these auctions of cards going for millions of dollars. It shouldn't be a surprise that I think a lot of them are going for millions of dollars because they're being bought by fractional ownership companies who then sell them to individuals, right? So fractionals, I don't know. I think they concern me, man. They concern me. I'm using Dibs. I understand the lure to it, but I just think, for example, in Dibs, I think like there was a Luka Silver Prism in Dibs that was trading for around $15,000 if you bought the whole card. Well, in the market, it's only $8,000. So why is it so inflated in that market, right? They do tie NFT into this, so
supply and demand, I'm sure
it is. But again, what it is. It's ignorance. It's ignorant purchasing, right? So we're
just like the people that were buying Star Stock A's when Star Stock first started for like obscene amounts of money.
Because I'm buying that. Here's what I mean by that. When I buy a fraction of a card, or I go to Dibs, I go, hey, man, I'm going to get a Michael Jordan card because I'm going to piece of that. Well, yeah, I can't get it, so I'm going to buy the Fleer. But then they put up there a Luka card that's a Luka Silver, and I think, well, great, I get that. I'm going to get a Luka too. It's going to be as valuable as Michael Jordan. But it's not. It's a very common card. But that hype mentality drives the Luka card in Dibs up to $15,000. And if you have the reality check, you go, well, I could buy a full one on eBay for $8,000. That to me is a concern. Right? Like, for example, the Michael Jordan card that sold for $700,000, who, by the way, people think are undervalued. I think that's crazy. How did that card go from $70,000 to $700,000 in 1 year? You know, and then when it sells for $350,000, people think the market's falling apart. Oh, the Jordan card sold for half what it. Well, just I think that's just a different world, man. I don't know. That just concerns me. These fractional ownerships are interesting. And they also, I don't know, the big issue to it, like, for example, with Dibs, it's not this an issue, but to withdraw funds, it's $15 flat fee, right? So you're like, well, what's the big deal with that? Well, if I put $100 in Dibs and I want to take out $15, it's a 15% fee, right? Now, if I pull out $5,000, it's not a big deal. But again, those little things, there's a lot of fees in these fractional ownerships. You also pay a transaction fee when you buy stuff. You pay a transaction fee for that. So again, all these fractional ownership companies are doing are just basically creating fee systems, marketplaces where I get money from you using fees, and they don't care how many times you buy or sell the fractional piece or not, right? So I don't know, they worry me. I am using them. I am, like I said, I'm using dibs, but I'm cautious. I saw an interesting. In fact, one of the channels I watch did a kind of a commercial for Otis. And I thought it was interesting because the way it was positioned was like, hey, sport cards are getting too expensive. It's hard to get into a break or anything. Hey, did you try Otis? I'm like, I don't know if I like that. It was very commercial-like. Like, I wouldn't tell if you came to me and say, hey, Ziggy, I want to get sports cards. I would never tell you to do fractional. That would be the last thing I would tell you. I would recommend fractional as maybe, I don't even know when I'd recommend it. I don't know. I just wouldn't recommend it to somebody. I'd recommend they open a blaster, open a Star Stock account, and get into sports cards. And I mean that. I really think you could start with, get a kid a Prism blaster and a Star Stock account, open the box, send the rookies up to Star Stock, and start buying and selling cards, and that can get you into the sports card game. And that can be done for $100, man.
I agree. Supply and demand. I get another beer.
Another beer. It's getting kind of late too, man. Wow, we've been on board for an hour and 46. Okay, question.
Giveaway time. Let's go.
Oh, it's a good question. Okay. 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 I'll ask a question and we'll see who gets this correct. The closest to the actual dollar amount. How much was 2017 Prism first off the line Prism boxes when they sold to the general public? How much were they?
Oh, we're looking for some seasoned collectors, investors here. How much were 2017 Prism first off the line boxes sold in 2017? Like the first ones? Was it a Dutch auction back then, or?
Oh, they had no Dutch auctions till Zion came along.
So this was just straight. They released it on the website. People went and bought it.
And this sat on the website for weeks, man, back in those days.
Oh my God. Don't say that, Ziggy. You just like.
I'm not kidding, man.
I have to go drink another beer now. It's just, when you think about that kind of stuff, it's just like.
Just confirming here what I had here is the price, but I'm pretty sure. I haven't seen the prices coming in.
What's up, Beat? Beat the House Sports and Politics coming out of the woodworks now on the.
I have the price. I have the price.
Question.
What the price is? What were the answers?
GTX. What's up, man? Jackson Klein in the house.
I see a close answer. I see the right answer. Let me see what's the first right answer.
The first right answer?
The first right answer is at the top, right? Top coming down?
Yeah. So you had...
it's going to be JJ...
Ridiculous.
$20 was the price of first off the line from Panini.
Get out of here. $120?
Yes, I can send you a screenshot of that later on to verify it, but I have proof. It was $120, and that was the suggested retail price for Prism back in 2017.
Holy crap, dude. Congratulations, Jason Light. Oh, sorry, bro. Jason, JJ Bama.
Again, back in those days, that product sat on the website. Like, I remember we bought 3 boxes, and then we went back on a few weeks later and bought 3 boxes. It did not sell out very fast. This is Mahomes' rookie year as well. So think about those boxes, man.
Some guy coming up with the handle of YouTube said he had it.
Did he have
your
it
name
before?
Really YouTube? And why did your comment didn't come in, brother?
Yeah, I was looking up top here. The first one I saw was JJ at 6. If you see any of the timestamps,
that was the very first answer was Muticulous, and then Samuel's Views, and then JJ Bama at 120. That was in the order 1046. I mean, but that was the order in which they came in.
And think about that. So 4 years later, right? First off the line sells for what? Over $1,000 a box?
YouTube said 119.
It's absolutely crazy.
Oh yeah, you said 119 YouTube, but I'm sorry, bro. You were you were like after 50 other people. Like 50 other comments. JJ Bama was technically the first. I mean,
does see
If
as
you click
what
on the
does that
keyboard.
box cost now? Are there any boxes on eBay of a first off the line 2017? Because think about that. That's my. If you
It's
pull a
probably
bronze auto, it's got to be like a home.
more than my mortgage payment.
Yes, that'd be a
We'll look
fun
it
box.
up.
2017.
I think it's incredible, by the way, that someone has subscribed to our community with the name of YouTube. That's awesome, man. I don't know how you got that name, but that's really cool.
I didn't know that you could do that. Wow, there's one on there for best offer of $30,000. And that box, again, remember, cost $120 retail. Just a standard hobby box, 17. Let me look at some sold prices if there's anything sold recently.
$200 shipping.
So a first off
30.
box
Jeez.
sold for in a bid on January 25th for $10,000 for first off the line Prism 2017 box. That's a lot of money.
Wow. It's incredible, man. A lot of this is basketball because I didn't type in
Football.
foosball.
The 2018 first off the line hobby box with Mayfield Lamar rookies was sold on February 17th for only $2,000. That's actually a deal, in my opinion.
Really?
Yeah, 2018 Prism football factory sealed hobby box, 1925 in an auction. And like I said, again, if you pull base rookie of those quarterbacks and you grade up, you could get a couple $100 back. If you pull a silver or a color card, you could do really well. So the risk is still there. I would actually, if I bought that box, I'd probably hold it though.
Yeah, plus all the skill positions. You got a lot of good skill positions in 2018 too.
Yeah.
Saquon, I mean, kind of most notable one there.
The 2020, which is what this year's first of the line box sold for $19.
DJ Moore, Nick Chubb. Sorry, Zig, go ahead.
No, just looking at the different prices. Anyway, I will say that's another thing too, man. I do like the first of the line. If you can get those boxes and hold them, if you have the money, I haven't been able to afford that, but if you can hold first of the line boxes, they do hold value. They go up. I don't recommend them on the weird products. I'd only do it on the Prisms, the Select, the NT, stuff like that. But I look at it, if Star Stock takes it, then I'd buy the box. If Star Stock doesn't take it, I don't buy the box.
Star Stock doesn't take it, you don't buy the box.
Yeah.
I like that. You saw they've really narrowed down their
and they should.
What they accept.
They should. They should stay focused. Don't do too much. I mean, I'll say this. I know they've had their growing pains, but they're less than a year old. I'm super excited. So I think that they'll only get better as the year goes on.
I really just need to get to work on building a time machine so I can go back to 2017 and buy every single bit.
Heck yeah, right?
Oh man, this is funny that you mentioned this because I've been selling golf cards. I bought a bunch of golf cards of all my favorite players on ComC. I was buying Rory and Tiger and Justin Thomas and Dustin Johnson and Patrick Reed and Jason Duffner and all these guys on ComC, and I've been selling some recently. I don't know what's going on with golf, but it's been picking up popularity as well.
Sean said he got a 15 box for $300. I don't remember the 15.
Wow.
I don't think it was a strong class. I think that was Manziel, if I'm not mistaken. Was that Manziel?
It's also Jameis Winston, though. Now that's his boy. That's his boy.
Winston, hold on.
QB1 for New Orleans, 2021.
Winston was 14, wasn't he? Or was he 15?
No, he was 15.
And then it's got Mariota then too.
Yeah, 50. You also had Amari Cooper, and I'm drawing a blank, but you had some decent skill. Oh yes, Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs, Marcus Mariota. Yeah, it was a solid class.
For hobby boxes, man, that's just fun. I mean, that's just fun. You can't find those prices anymore. UFC Prism will be popular. I don't disagree with you. That will be. I'm not a UFC person, but I think it's going to be pretty big. Manziel was
Have you ever
40.
been to a live UFC match?
I have not. Have you?
Yeah, I have. I've been to one. It was a blast, dude. It was so much fun.
Yeah, I would
It
imagine
was
it would be.
intense. Everybody's hyped up. Everybody is hyped up at that event. Like
Well, they're
it's
doing
electric, man.
UFC NFTs are coming out.
Of course. Of course.
And the UFC, I'll tell you, the females in the UFC, their cards are super valuable.
I'm releasing NFTs soon, Ziggy. Best moments of the fantasy football card quest. You'll be able to buy it.
It's funny.
Blockchain.
I think someone should do NFTs of big breaks, big hits and breaks, right? Because if you look on YouTube,
There you go.
They watch breaks of big hits. They look for, oh, look at the breaker when he pulls the 101. Well, if someone YouTube made NFTs of those moments and sold those, that would be pretty cool, right? Breaker NFTs, because that's actually an exciting moment that I maybe would want to watch in some way. I don't know if there's a value in it, but hey, I'm going to pause for a moment. I got to run to the little boys' room, man.
I want to keep this watchable for all the guys that are overseas or watch it after today. So I think this is a good point. We go ahead and call it Ziggy.
Okay.
So
hold it.
No, it's all good, man. You gotta go. You gotta go. We don't want you to go.
You need a drink, and I'll just wait to pop a seal.
But no, I really appreciate all you guys that tuned in tonight. Please, if you're not, you can find Ziggy at ZiggyNO Sports Card Daily.
Yep.
I put it in the description. His channel link. Make sure you go to his channel and subscribe. He's putting out fire content on the daily. And of course, I imagine you're subscribed to my channel if you're still watching by this point. But if not, yeah, what are you doing? So I will see you guys in that next video. Really appreciate all you guys watching tonight. Hope you got some really good value out of this live stream. Thank you, Ziggy, for joining us tonight, man. This has been a blast. I learned a lot, as always, every time I get on with you.
Love it. Look forward to seeing you in person, man. Hope your family stays safe and healthy down there. Hope everybody else stays healthy. And then I look forward to doing this again. Like I said, it's awesome. We'll have to talk again after the draft.
Yeah, absolutely, brother. Absolutely. Because a lot of stuff is going to change.
Talk to you later, guys. Thanks again.
All right, guys. Y'all have a take care. I'll see you guys on Saturday night. Oh, man, Ziggy just peaced out. But real quick then, I will be live again Saturday night. We're going to be focusing on ComC. I've got a nice little balance in ComC. I'm going live with Sean from Raven Invest. And the dude is dedicated to football card investing, flipping, collecting. A lot of his activities on ComC. He's got a tool that he's built for it. I'm very interested to learn more from him. So tune in to us Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. I hope to see you guys there. I'll see you guys on Monday in my next video. Peace. You rock, Blaine.